The sexiest thing in the entire world is being really smart.
Welcome to Smart is Sexy, the podcast where we discuss self-development, growth, business, spirituality, and becoming a smarter, sexier human. I am your host, Kelsi.
And I'm Celeste. Welcome to our show, y'all. If you haven't yet, hit subscribe, send to a friend, and leave us a review. Today's episode is brought to you by Insert Name Here. Insert Name Here creates ultra high quality, easy to use hair solutions like extensions and ponytails, and they are so easy to apply, so you can do your hair in under 5 minutes, which is a huge deal for all the girls who are running around building their empire. Today I'm wearing the Maddie, which I'm obsessed with, and you can use code ViperGirl for 20% off online.
Wow, you look great. You're like a little beauty queen.
My little Bratz doll hair.
It is your Bratz doll hair for sure.
Yeah.
It looks great.
I mean, even without the hair, I feel like
it's just your aesthetic. It works.
One day, Bratz collab, I'm manifesting it. Call it now.
That's a good manifestation.
I would love one.
I like it. All right.
Season 2, part 2.
Here we are.
We're back in the stew.
We are.
Ooh, that was kind of a bar. Season 2, part 2. Back in the stew. Okay. Let me not change my career path to rapper. Not today.
No, I would stick to what you're good at.
Yeah.
And
which
that
is what?
wasn't one of them.
What do you think it is?
What is it that you're good at?
Yeah.
It's probably not something I can share on the podcast. So we're going to go ahead and just leave that one. Not to our
I was
listeners.
not expecting that answer.
Oh, right.
I am good at that. Just kidding. Anyways, back to wholesome energy. Okay.
I mean, literally we are about to get into some wholesome energy because my good news minute is my new sprouting seed kit.
Yeah, let's talk about that because we're having different days over here.
We're having different lives, not even different days. So my boyfriend's mom has this like sprouting seed kit where you like sprout your own alfalfa sprouts in this like little container, and then you can put it in like your smoothies and on your salads and your sandwiches. And it just like provides so much extra nutrients for your body. Okay. So I'm really excited. I
love nutrients.
I'm hyped. And you can't really taste them. Like I'm going to be the type of like mom that like sticks these in like brownies. So like you don't really like your kids don't know that they're getting things.
Smart.
So, but I just got this kit. I'm so excited to do like the seeds, the whole shebang. And then I'm actually going to put the kit on our Amazon list where people can go on and purchase things because I'm really hyped about this.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be so fun.
Speaking of that, for anyone listening who doesn't know, you can go on to our Amazon account and you can buy all of our favorite products, which is really cool. So we like listed out Kelsey's faves, my faves, and then just like other things that we use.
Yeah.
So anything we talk about, books, skincare, wellness, like just products that we use Amazon for.
My Crocs.
Don't buy those.
My puzzles.
You can buy those. But yeah, so that's fun. Okay, cool. Love that for you. Little sprouter.
Okay, what is your
little sprouter girl? So we just moved to a different area. So now we're like no longer like in the city of LA technically because we're in the valley now. So I had to join the library. So I got my new library card, and because it's separate, it's different than the LAPL. So so
do you wear these hoops that you're wearing to the library?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's funny. So I went like last week because I was like signing up, and I sat there and I worked from there. And I don't know if it's just the area we live in, but like aside from me, everyone was over 70. And then it was just me. Okay. So, and I don't know, and it was packed, like library bussin', but like everyone was.
Library is bussin'.
Yeah, but everyone was over 70.
Okay.
And so I don't know. And like they were like living their best lives. Like they were on the computers, they were laughing, they were like chuckling. And it was fucking packed. Like it was hard for me to find a spot to sit.
Yeah.
And I was the only person under 70. So there was that. So I like looked at their calendar of events because I was like, are y'all like just spoiling the seniors? Like the seniors love it here. So anyways, I did that. I joined. I got the programming. I checked out a book. I worked from there. Big fan. It's beautiful. And then I put it on my little keychains. I have my little library card.
You put the library on your keychain?
Well, it's like the key tag version of the card. It's like that's like the version that they give you. It's like a keychain version. Like it's like the key. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about. I'm just trying to think of the kindest way to say what I'm thinking.
Oh
in
no,
my
please
head.
tell me. Sure.
I think you're a huge dork.
You just said you were gonna sprout alfalfas,
Yeah,
which I don't even know if that's what they're called.
It is, but
Oh.
the fact that I'm like sprouting alfalfas. Okay, it's 2022 and you're at the library, and not only that, you're putting the library card on your keychain.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed.
Really? I mean, I feel like it's very on brand, and I mean, how else am I gonna have my library card? I need it at,
In your wallet, hidden, so no one can tell.
No, I have to represent.
The
I'm out there.
library?
Yeah, team library. For anyone who doesn't know this about me, before I got into nightlife, I wanted to be a librarian. It's a little fun fact, remember? And then they told me I needed a degree in library science.
Yeah,
It's a sad day.
it's an interesting time for you. The two sides of you.
I don't know what you're talking about. I feel like they just flow.
Yeah,
They just mesh. They make like a little mesh pot. What are we talking about today? Oh, you guys. We need to have this conversation. This one is important.
yes, importante.
It is a crucial convo.
So a lot has been coming up in life where I have been seeing a lot of people who don't necessarily seem like they're being true to who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And
Especially lately.
yeah,
I don't know what the shift is.
I don't either. I don't know if it's maybe like LA got hit really hard with the pandemic. I mean, I know
Yeah.
the whole world did, but like in comparison, like in the United States, like we got hit really heavy.
So that
And
made
so-
everyone just be like phony baloney. Because like,
Look at you using my
I
term,
know I stole
phony
your lingo
baloney.
because I would say like a phony bitch. But like you
say
say phony baloney.
Phony baloney.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was trying to be PG.
I like it. So it's definitely like a very interesting time where I'm seeing a lot of people where I'm like, wow, and it's not like people are changing and evolving. It's just people don't seem very authentic.
Well, what I've been seeing, yeah. Oh my God, this convo just feels so needed right now. I've been seeing like people forcing down your throat via social media, and when you talk to them, who they are, and it's like very clear to me that it's not who they are. I don't really understand why we even need to force down who we are down.
Yeah,
people's
because you can
throats.
just be.
You can just be.
Yeah.
And I've been noticing like this trend. I'm picking it up so much. You and I talk about it a lot of like just kind of like trying to be something you're not, trying to be somebody you're not, but not in a way of like creating it. It's not like a fake it till you make it. It's not that. It's like a like look at me, I'm better than you because this is who I am, and it's really phony. That's like the best way I can explain it.
Yeah, and it is interesting because so we all see one version of a person on social media. You see someone's highlight reel.
Yeah.
And something that we're seeing a lot right now, there's this huge push for like self-love and mental health, which is super important, don't get me wrong. But I have my personal self have been seeing a lot of people be like, I'm focused on my self-love, I'm focused on dating myself, I'm focused on me, my boundaries. And then when you talk to them in person, they're the exact opposite of like searching for validation from outside of themselves so they feel better. And I'm just like, that's wrong.
Well, I feel like, to me, I can always tell when someone's trying to like I'm using social media in specific, when someone's trying to like garner a response. Do you know what I mean? Like you're posting something because you want a certain response. I feel like I can see right through it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when somebody posts something, I'm like, what?
For sure.
Which like it's okay.
We
It's
all
just,
we all do it to a certain extent. Like when
Totally.
you post a selfie, when you post something, you're looking for validation from your peers. Like that is what you're doing. Like,
yeah, this is different though. This is like posting.
but yeah, that's what I'm saying. That this
Yeah.
is different. So I'm saying explain that because it's not coming like we're not saying like anytime you post something you feel good about yourself.
No. That's different. No, I'm on the gram all day. But this is like, I don't know. I guess I see it with people that I know, and I see them like portraying this like, oh, you know, I'm in my own zone and like I do this, and this, and like look at me, like I'm top tier type energy. But I know, first of all, I know them up close, and then secondly, I'm like, why do you need to shove this down everybody's throat?
Yeah.
Like this, like I'm so good, I'm so perfect, do you know what I mean?
Because I do think that the more you say it, the less it is.
100%.
The more you say you are something, the less you are.
And the more you push a concept, like the more you push a narrative, like I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, like the less real it is, the less organic. Because if you are, you just don't have to say it. It's just so clear.
Yeah. It very much starts with your own energy, and we can feel energy through anything. So you either are or you aren't.
A million.
And that energy can show through in your daily conversations with people. It can show through in what you're portraying on Instagram. I think
I also notice a big trend in people. I just can always tell when somebody's outside of themselves. Like I can tell when someone's dressing like somebody else, trying to be somebody else, acting like somebody else. There's certain things for me, like, okay, I'm a big like word person, as we know, just because I like to read and like I like words and stuff. So like I can tell by the words that somebody uses, like the lingo, the way they speak, like whether or not that's authentic to them.
Oh, for sure. You
know?
can tell. You absolutely can tell. You can tell even down to the way someone's dressing.
Yes.
And I really do think that like the way that we dress is such a like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like expression.
Thank you. It's such a self-expression, right? So I went through a period of time where like I moved away from Reno. I like chopped off all my hair and I was kind of dressing a little bit more just not myself, I would say. And
I went through that period too.
And
in my early 20s,
I think we all do. Like your 20s are such a hard period because you're really trying to figure out who you are without living at home, without friends. You're trying to figure out what your life is like for yourself. And it just I look back on photos and I just think, wow, I don't seem like myself at all.
Same.
And that's okay. Like I tried it out, but it just wasn't genuine. I feel like I was trying to be who my friends were at the time.
Yeah.
And I was trying to fit into like this cool LA, like Silver Lake, like East Hollywood girl. And that's so not me. Yeah. Like nothing wrong with it. I would love to be that person. It's just not who I am. So it just came off as inauthentic.
Yeah. I went through the same thing in my early 20s. I think that we lived together and there was just a period of time where I was trying to dress a certain way or be a certain, it just wasn't me at all. It's actually funny because I was getting my makeup done a couple weeks ago and the girl that did my makeup, I grew up with her. And so when I was getting ready, I put on like a cropped, like a ribbed tank top and Dickies and Chucks. And she was like, yo, you used to dress like this in like the 5th grade. Like she's like, it's so funny to me because you're like an adult with a business and you just dress the same way you used to dress in the 5th grade. And I was like, yeah. So like there's that. Obviously that was only a couple years that I like strayed, but I do look back and I'm like, it doesn't even look like me.
No, and I do the same thing.
I also had my hair highlighted. It didn't even feel like me.
Yeah. And I think we just go through periods of our life where you're trying to kind of figure out who you are. And that's okay. Cause like we all have have to really figure out, but
I can see it.
You can tell.
Yeah.
You can see it, especially the more that we put our lives on social media. You can feel a person's energy of like, you don't seem like yourself.
Yeah. And I think it's funny. I came into it now and we obviously make jokes about it all the time because I very much have two sides to me. And for a long time, like when we were building Viper, I did try to hide the one side because there is a part of me that's like very intelligent and I'm like really good at business and what I do and owning a business and all that. But there's another part of me that's like, I'm like, I grew up in LA. I'm like, I have like a more, don't really know the word for it, but I'm a little bit more like my lingo and the way I dress and all of that. And I hid that for a long time to try to just focus on one side. But now I've like really come into the place where I just do both. And like, it's so natural for me. Like it's just so, that's the only way I can put it. It's just so natural. Cause it's just like she said, since I was growing up.
There's a lot of things I'm like, wow, I wish I would love to wear that, or I would love to like wear my hair that way. But even though it looks great on someone else, it doesn't feel authentic to myself.
And that's what I want to talk about too, because what I see is I see people doing things and I know who they're picking it up from. Like I can tell. And so I'm like, okay, you're picking this up from this person or this person or this person. And like, sometimes that happens with friend groups or with, influencers or celebrities or whatever. But like one thing, like I'll just say, this is obviously just my opinion, but to me, like girl or guy, there is nothing more attractive than your own personal essence. Like you being in your own essence, whatever that means, whether you're like, I'm a camper girl or I'm, into like tattoos or whatever it is. Like if you are taking somebody else's essence or you're trying to copy something that somebody else is doing, it doesn't sit right on you. So like you can do it because you think it looks good on them, but it just like, it doesn't it's not your own energy.
Yeah.
And like I can always see it.
Yeah, I do think that when you are genuine to who you are, you attract the right people in your life and the people that are meant for you to add. When you aren't, you attract those wrong people, and then you are going to feel so empty inside. And you see that a lot. I think you see that a lot in Hollywood and LA, that people are constantly trying to be something that they're not. So they're attracting the wrong people, and then they're feeling empty, and then they're not enjoying their life at all because they're not doing the things that they love, and they don't feel true to them.
No. And like, you won't even want to be around them because it's not really for you. Like, you'll feel so much better in your own essence, whatever that means. Like, and also there's nothing like, not one thing is better than the other. Like, you and I have different, well, no, you and I are twins. You and I have the same aesthetic.
I mean, the crickets from me.
You and I are different. We have completely different aesthetics, different hobbies, different interests, different tastes in music, different everything. There's not like one is better than the other. You would think your music is better than mine, but
no, I think that most of my things are better than yours.
Well, anyways,
not your opinion of like not one thing is, but that is like, I do believe that mine is better than yours.
Okay. Well, she's wrong. But no, so like not one thing is better than the other, but I really think like being in your own essence. Also, when you're not in your own energy and you're trying to steal somebody else's, first of all, you're always one step behind. But secondly, you're not creating anything for yourself. So in the people that you're attracting, in your own, everything you're attracting is technically not for you because you're not being you.
Yeah, because then you're spending time on a person who is not you. And then that person who is not you is giving to other people.
Right.
Who, because they don't know the real you, they're not going to be able to fill you back up.
Right.
Because they're not meant for you.
Right.
Those people are not meant for you. And it's not because there's anything good or bad or wrong with them. It's just that because you're not being in tune with yourself.
Yeah.
You then aren't able to attract those people who are going to be able to fill you up.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And yeah, then you're attracting the wrong scenario. And I don't know. I guess I also think like it's also on a spiritual level kind of disrespectful to like your higher self, you know, because it's like you have a spiritual path, a spiritual purpose. You have things for yourself. I guess it's maybe a phase people go through, but I think like the choice between being you and being someone else, like there's no one else on the planet I want to be. I think about this all the time. I've said this for forever. There's no one else I would want to be. And like, I think it's disrespectful to your own self, to your own like self-worth, to your own higher self, to just copy somebody else's every move or, you know, be in somebody else's essence and try to adopt that, because it's like, that's so sad for you, you know, like for your little self.
Well, and I do think too, like when not only do I want to attract the right people into my life, so like they add to it, but I'm also very attracted to people who are genuinely them.
Oh my God. That makes all the difference.
Huge. Like I think about the really close people in my life. They're so themselves, no matter what, no matter who's around, no matter what's going on. The people that I admire, the people that I love, the people that I take advice from and I value their opinions in life, they are so confident in who they are and they are just them.
I agree.
They are just happy in their own skin. They're not trying to be someone else. They're not trying to embody another person or another energy. They're just them, and I am the most attracted to that energy, and then it also helps me to be more confident and be more me.
Of course. I think that is the truest statement of all. If I'm around somebody and I know they're like, it's almost like repulsive for me, not in a sense of like, oh, I'm repulsed. It's an energetic repulsiveness. Yeah. When somebody is being phony or disingenuous. Like you just are like, oh, I just energetically, I'm like pushing you away. Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. So that, and then when you are really like in tune with yourself and you're just in your own lane, I think that's like the most fire thing in the world, because I'm like, that's just you. Like you're in your own essence. You don't need to be anybody else. I think it's dope that you're your own person, that you have your own things that you bring to the table. And I think those people are happier. They're more secure. They feel safer to be around energetically, all of the above. I think like all of it comes down to that.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I love
and
that.
This is honestly, this isn't in one area of your life. This really goes across the board. It's in love, it's in friendships, it's with your family, it's professionally. Like when you are just yourself, you're going to attract all of the people who are supposed to be in your life.
And again, you do yourself a disservice. It's actually funny. So we have a few Viper copycats now, which is like, it drives me crazy, but you always just laugh, like you don't care. And there's a few teams that have really ripped our brand. Like they really came for our brand in terms of aesthetic, verbiage, everything, right? And I was like riled up. Like I get every time a new one pops up, I'm like ready to throw hands. I'm like this. And you're always like, let them try to be us. Let them.
For sure. I
Because it's a disservice to themselves.
Absolutely. I also sent you a photo of like the beauty blender the
Yeah.
other day because I had run into Marshall's. I think I was looking for pillows and I ran into Marshall's and I was walking through and there's all of these like other brands who, you know, beauty blenders, like the makeup sponge, right? Well, there's all these other brands who have copied exactly, like thousands of other brands have tried to do what she has done.
Yeah.
And I thought you have to stay in your own lane in anything you do in life. But she then was like, okay, yeah, you guys go and copy the thing I started with. I'm now going to go create makeup and other things.
Yeah.
But that is how you have to be.
true.
Like you have to be aware of the competition in business. You have to be aware of the competition, but you can't focus so much on it that you then are worried about people becoming you because they are trying to become something that they're not.
No, that is like the best way to put it. I know you always have to like talk me off a ledge because I'll be like going.
I'm like, we just have to take it as a compliment. They thought what we did was going to make them make them money, and you know what? Good for you that you thought that.
As a founder, like I see some people like using our verbiage and like the brand and just like everything that we built, and I'm like, man, but no, you're
because it's like you thought our something that we had, like our secret sauce, was like, I want to do what they're doing so I can make some money. That's what they thought.
Yeah.
So it's like,
no,
thank you for the compliment.
I think one of the best quotes that I love, like the most, that I just think is so true is like, there's no competition because you could never be me and I don't want to be you. Like, and I really feel that way in my entire life, you know? And like, I guess I don't really understand like that nature of wanting to be somebody else. But anyways, just for sake of this conversation, I think it comes down to essence and like, you know, like how apparent it is. Yeah.
Are you talk about the center of gravity? Because that's where we're at.
Oh,
I don't know what that means.
my bad. There's also like this other concept that I've been contemplating a lot, that I've been noticing a lot, just because I've been like spending a lot of time paying attention to this sort of thing lately with the copycats and just like with shit that's been popping up. And I've been marinating a lot on this concept of like your center of gravity. And I think that's something that's very clear to me energetically is when somebody is in their own center of gravity, and then also simultaneously when I'm in my own. So there was a situation that I was in a couple months ago that I was dealing with somebody that I used to date in the past. And I just noticed like every time he came back into my life, like I would slip out of my center of gravity and into his. So now I was kind of like, oh, like every decision I made was like, oh, well, what is he going to think of this? What, you know what I mean? Like I was almost like making decisions for him, like mentally in my head. And I was like, whoa, like let me reevaluate that. But I think this works for everything. It works for dating, friendship, life, all of it. Is, are you in your own center of gravity? Are you in your own essence where you control, like you're centered, right? Like by definition, if you're in the center, you can't be, you're not wobbly, you're not wibbly wobbly, you're not getting swept away. Like if you're centered, you're grounded, you're right there. And I think that's so important. Like within anything you do, like, are you within your own essence? Are you within your own center? And if you're not, if you're being thrown off in this direction of, oh, what are they going to think? What is he going to think? Oh, should I go be like that girl? Should I go be like that guy? Should I go do what they're doing? Then like by definition, you're not centered. And so like, I don't know, that was just a concept that I had been thinking of a lot. And that was like something that I had to readjust. And like the minute I caught it and like reevaluated, I was like, oh yeah, no, fuck that. Like we're not doing that. And then once you come back to your center, I just feel like you feel so much better instantaneously.
Because anytime you are not feeling like yourself or something's not sitting right with you, it's because there's something's going on in your life where you're like, this isn't serving me, and this doesn't fit is my beliefs and your center. It doesn't fit within your center of gravity. So you're going to feel off.
Yeah.
Whether that be anxiety or.
That's a great way to put it. You'll know when you start feeling that anxiety. You'll know when you start feeling that overthinking. Because when you're off center, then I feel like that's when you get those things. Like, and you feel it in your body, honestly. Like, you know, like I feel like you always know intuitively something's off. Like, I don't know what it is, but something's off. And so that was one that I was just thinking of, because I was like, okay, if something is centered, it's not off. You know? It's like, it's in the middle. It's centered, like anything. So,
and like you said, like your body will feel wibbly wobbly.
Yeah. And I think that's the same thing. If you're trying to be somebody else and not true to yourself, or you're trying to do things for somebody else, again, and you're not in that, like, you're not kind of controlling or puppeteering your own life, and instead you're like doing something for like what that outside validation is going to be, or what would it be like if I was copying that person, whatever, it's just going to throw you off.
Yeah, I think right now I'm definitely at a place in my life that I'm trying to be the most myself in all things that I do. So how I'm portraying myself on social media, I want it to come off as very genuine. What I'm doing in life, the activities, the things I'm trying to have fun, and I'm trying to have everything be authentic to myself. And I think that's the biggest thing that you can do, is very few people have what it takes to be authentic to who they are, and to go out and get the life that they want, create the life that they want. That doesn't mean that you don't have, like, you don't need to be the next Elon Musk. You don't need to be a billionaire. You don't even need to start a small business if you don't want to.
No, not at all.
But I just mean that, like, to just be happy. I feel like we, as like society, has taught us like so many things of like what we're supposed to want and what the things we're supposed to have, when if you sit down and think like, do I want this? Are these the things that I want? Do I want to be a millionaire? Do I want to work for someone else? Do I want to start my own company? Like, be brave and be authentic to who you are, and create the life that is authentic to you. Yeah. And honestly, like,
yeah, because it might look really different.
Yeah, I want to see more people have what it takes to just be happy.
I completely agree. Like, I think about my family that lives in the Canary Islands. My stepmom, all she wants to do is grow her tomatoes and sing her music and take care of her son and be, you know, there. And because I remember when I was visiting them in the Canary Islands, I was like, I'm so bored. I need to go. I'm getting woken up by like roosters and donkeys because like y'all live in the country. And that's like not for me at all. Like, I need to move. I need to hustle. I need to get back to it. But for her, that's heaven on earth. And I agree with you. I think in LA especially, like, everyone thinks that they need to be XYZ, and you don't. You should be whatever you actually want, but like decide for yourself.
Absolutely. It has taken me to like this point in my life where I'm like, oh, you know what? I actually think that, like, do I still want some of the things I've always wanted? Yes. But then also I've kind of realized that a few things I'm like, actually, I'm enjoying other things in life that I didn't realize that I wanted. And this feels really good. And this feels like me.
Right.
So really moving into that space of like, this is where I'm the happiest, but then I'm also creating more, and I'm also I'm enjoying work, and I'm feeling more inspired, and I like working. That's part of like the fun that I have, right? Like, I'm creating a life of work that I love for myself. And you know, last week you on your solo episode, you talked about how you're willing to sacrifice for the things that you want. Someone else's sacrifices might look different.
100%.
But in the long run, and at the end of the day, they actually won't be sacrifices at all. Right. Because those are things that are no longer serving you. And those are things like, me actually not going out is actually not a sacrifice. It's me just choosing, you know what, I don't really enjoy doing this anymore.
That's
and
such
I just
a
don't
good point.
So in the long run, because I was thinking about that, I'm like, wow, making a sacrifice sounds like you're a sacrificial lamb.
That's a good point.
But in the long, like at the end of the day, in the long run, sacrifices are not sacrifices.
No,
you're just not doing things you don't enjoy doing.
That's
anymore.
a great point. It's funny too with that episode, because I went on did a solo episode for anyone listening who's a little confused. And I talked about like how I would sacrifice because I like really want to be at the top, whatever. And I got a lot of text messages from a lot of people that were like, oh my God, like I'm the same, or I want the same and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know, we'll see, we'll find out. But I also don't think like just because I said that I want those things and that I would sacrifice and I was talking a little bit of shit, that doesn't mean like that's the right way, right? Like that's not.
No, that's the
just
right.
my
That's
way.
the right way for you.
Yeah.
And again, you missing out on going out and having nights
it's
out.
just right for me.
Those aren't even sacrifices because you're like, no,
Yeah.
you know what? I'd rather go to bed early tonight so I can have a day tomorrow that I want to have
Yes.
versus go out tonight so I feel like I'm doing something. That's
Yes.
not a sacrifice.
No, you're right.
You're
And-
just moving out of phases of your life that you no
Totally.
longer want to be in.
I completely agree. And I think that's why it's so important to be an independent thinker. I can't stress that enough because as much as I say that, that might not be right for everybody. Like it's just right for me. That's it. I don't think it's not even me preaching how other people should be. Honestly, it's really just like, this is my thought process, this is my mentality for my life. But you have to, this is a really, really, really big one. You have to decide for yourself.
Yes, because some people may feel like missing out on a night out.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to do that because that's the life that they want to live. And that's very much what they want. I think there's just a lot of people who are out in the world doing things they don't want to do. So then we call them sacrifices when we get rid of those things.
Yeah.
They're not.
No, you're making
If there's
such a good
something I
point.
really, really want to go do,
Yeah.
life is short. I'm not going to miss out on it.
Right.
If I really want to go to my friend's birthday
Yeah.
and that's what I'm dying to do, I'm not
Agreed.
missing my friend's birthday because guess what? That's a friendship that I value and I love that person.
Yes.
I'm not going to miss out on certain family vacations because that's not a sacrifice. That's not a sacrifice.
Totally.
That's to me. I'm like, no, that's important. That's things that add to my life. That doesn't. I'm not going to remove it.
I definitely agree with that. It's funny too because I listened to like this one podcast and it's like a bunch of VCs and I love business and I love like money and I love like what we do and I love scaling and I love all of that. But like the world of venture capitalism to me is like sounds like the most boring, horrific thing in the, like, it's just so far from who I am as a person. And I remember like years ago, like I really thought like I wanted to be like more in that space or like I wanted to explore that. I wanted to get funding. I wanted to raise. I wanted to network in that space. I wanted to be in that world when we were building Vibrant. And now like I can take it with a grain of salt, but like I think about that too. I'm like, there's so many things that they might be on like the outskirts of what you do, like as someone who owns a business and like is working on others and advises for brands, like the world of VCs is very close to us. But like I just think it sounds horrible. And I think, but there's so many people who would have given us the advice to go push into that space. You have to decide for yourself.
Yeah.
Like not everything, even if it doesn't even matter if there's success involved. Because also like I was telling somebody this other day, you can make money doing anything. You can be successful doing anything. You might as well like pick the thing that you like that sounds right for you. Just because something else is successful, just because somebody else, you know, has something.
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of people in this world who make a lot of money doing their job, but they're miserable.
Yeah.
So so
Right.
they have made sacrifices.
Yeah.
They've actually made sacrifices of
Right.
things that make them happy to be miserable.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to be
I'm
miserable.
trying to get rid of the things that I don't enjoy anymore
Yeah.
with filling things with I do so that I can be successful. Because the things that bring me happiness make me more creative. They make me want to work harder.
Yeah.
They make me want to add more value to my life.
They also make you healthier because happiness is like the first key to health.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, yeah,
Totally.
the sacrifices are actually not sacrifices in the long
I like
run. You're
that.
just eliminating the bad shit you don't want in your life anymore.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And I also think too, like, you don't need an excuse to be your own person. Like you don't need somebody to justify it. You don't need somebody to approve of it. Like that's a really important note. Like whatever it is, and you're also, the parts of your life don't really have to make sense. I have a lot of parts that are opposite of each other that I enjoy both.
Same.
And they don't have to make sense.
No, I would agree with you because I constantly feel like I'm Hannah Montana.
Yeah, you are.
Because I like have this life where I love the parts of LA where I get to like get dressed up and we have meetings and I love meeting new people and I love like talking about work and doing business. But I also really, really love being outside. I love to camp. I love hiking. I love being with my family. I love board games.
Yeah.
I am kind of a dork. play Clash Royale. And
yes, you do, and she pays for it. That's the craziest
I pay
part
for the
of
Clash Pass. Okay,
that's
so
the craziest part of this convo.
I need to get better faster, and the Clash Pass allows me to do that.
I don't know what that means, but that's the fact that you pay for any, like, never mind. It's just
Soapin's face over there.
It's
He's
absurd.
like, really?
When I found out she paid for it, I was like, that's not real life. She pays like
it's $5.
You spent money on that.
You've spent money on way worse.
Yeah, I have.
And this is entertainment.
I've spent money on a lot.
So, yeah, I just think that, like, at the end of the day, I really feel like when you are just you are going to be happier and attract the people you need to be in your life. Don't try to be... Obviously, we all go through phases where we're trying to figure it out, but figure it out quick.
But like, stay true to you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you don't need to, I don't know, watching everyone else's move and all of that. And also it's like...
And sometimes if you are watching what everyone else is doing too much, I delete Instagram when I notice that I'm like, oh, I want to be like that, and I should buy this. I'm like, I'm wanting to be something else and have something else too much. I need to be grateful for where I am right now. That doesn't mean I'm not trying to progress, but you just need to be like, well, I'm actually really lucky. I live in a beautiful home. I'm healthy. I've got great relationships. I need to take stock of what the things in your life.
Inventory. Yes, that was
take inventory.
See.
So you do. Yeah. We eventually get to the right saying.
That's what I meant. Yeah, take inventory of what you have. That's a really good way to, like, begin in that mind space of, like, I don't need to be anybody else because I have X, Y, and Z.
Because I'm really, really lucky and I'm really happy. And I have been, the biggest thing for me is I get up every single morning and I pray. Yeah. And I really, like, just say, like, pray to God, be like, I'm so thankful for the life that you have blessed me with, because I am able to go out and create more and do more things because you have, like, guided me and given me so much. Yeah. And I do that every morning, and it really does help me to be like, wow, okay, I'm just grateful to just be myself.
Right. I agree with that. Love that.
Yeah.
Oh, but, like, speaking of the morning, can we talk about the fact that we both dropped our morning routines? Real quick. We just have to add this in real quick.
Oh my gosh.
Because we used to talk about morning routines.
And I kind of want to smack my old self a little bit. Like, it's like, could you get off your high horse?
Like, the morning routine thing. Okay, so for anyone listening, Kels and I both, coincidentally, we actually didn't know the other person did this. We didn't have a discussion. We both stopped doing morning routines. And I was
dreading it.
Yeah. Well, also, like, I don't know, the morning routine thing was kind of a trend for a while. But I used to get really sleepy after mine too, because I would, like, meditate and journal and, like, I don't even know what else I would do, right? Like, the whole thing. And now I don't do any of those. Like, I literally don't do a single
and I feel the
one.
Best.
And I feel so much better than I did trying to, like, force out, like the affirmations and, like, the journaling and, like, the tea and the stretches and the lemon water and the, you know, like, all the
so
it's
OD.
so OD. And, like, the whole TikTok trend, I'm like, all of you shut the fuck up. Wake up. Move on.
No. Okay, I did start, like, I guess just by way of, like, a habit. Yeah. I have now kind of created a different morning routine, but it's not so much, like, I actually am, like, excited to get up and do it. So I get up, I say a prayer, and then I do my Clash battles. Yeah. And then
I get how she starts the morning.
I do my Clash battles. Not my Clash battles, my clan battles. 'Cause I'm part of a clan. So I do my clan battles, and then I do, like, a crazy skin care routine.
Yeah, you do.
With, like, an ice roller and my gua sha, and then I do, like, my Solar Wave lights, like red light therapy. Yeah. This takes me a really long time, but it's very relaxing, where I'm like, I'm listening to an audiobook. Like, I've created a morning routine that is not so based around, like, meditation and peacefulness. Like, I'm just, like, doing things. And so I've started one, but it's not like this whole, like, I get up and I stretch and I meditate and I write down 18 million things that I'm grateful for. It's like, nope, I prayed. I'm good. Thank you so much for letting me wake up. I'm super stoked. And I sit out on my front porch and I have a cup of coffee and I'm like, life is good.
My favorite, I mean, I don't do any of that. My favorite mornings, honestly, at this point are I get up, I drink a Celsius, and I go to the gym, and that's it.
But kind of like
I'm obsessed with it. And, like, when I don't do it, because I've been off my schedule, like, this week especially, because if I go to bed late, it really throws me off the next day, because it's really hard to get up at that time. So if I don't do it, I just am like not as happy. Oh, and then I make my oatmeal after the gym. And you guys, this oatmeal, like, I became a little grandma because I'm obsessed. I make it every single day. Ask Kelsi, she hears all about it.
Well, no, not only do I hear all about it, but you told me this is the peak, and then after I finish it, it's just like all downhill from here. And
it's
I'm
the
like,
peak of my
that's kind
day.
of dark, and we might need to rework your life a little bit.
My oatmeal's the peak of my day. It's my
Okay.
favorite meal.
Okay.
It's so good. But yeah, so that's been so much better. Like, and I don't do anything. I get up.
But that
and
is, in a sense, your morning routine.
Yeah.
It's just not what the spiritual morning routine
Yeah.
that everyone has been shoving down our throats for
And
the
I
last
think
3
a
years.
1,000,000%. And I think that, like, I'm a super spiritual person. So, but it just wasn't. I just feel so much better now. I feel anything you do that's like super authentic. This actually goes back to the episode. Anything that you do that's authentic to you is gonna feel better. Like, I'm super spiritual, but I don't need that in the mornings. I gotta tell you,
it's actually really crazy. That does go along with this episode. Is that I was feeling so forced and it didn't feel genuine at all. And I was dreading every morning doing my morning routine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, isn't this supposed to be something I enjoy? But I'm just like, now I'm just miserable.
I think too, because like with social media and stuff, like you see, I mean, for a while, I don't really go on TikTok anymore, but when I did, there's like a whole aesthetic of morning routines. It's also all over Instagram. I don't know. It's like a big concept right now. And it is that. It's waking up,
But it's
meditating,
a trend.
journaling. Yeah. And it's so funny because I mean, I'm like, I was doing it and I'm like, I'm a really deeply spiritual person. I don't need any of this. Not saying that other people don't. I'm just saying for me, it's not like me saying I don't want to do the meditation and the gratitude in the morning means that I don't like the spirituality. That's not what I'm saying. I just didn't like
and if that
forcing
works for you, that's great. But
Yeah.
also, you guys, if it doesn't work for you,
Stop doing
then
it.
stop doing it and find something that does. I started doing something that just organically happened, and then I was like, wow, I love this.
Yeah.
If there comes a day where I no longer want to do any of those things, then I'm just going to stop.
And me, like my meditative showers that I do, like in my candlelit.
Oh, yeah. You're a big shower girl.
My favorite showers in the whole world is when I turn off the lights and it's just candles or it's just a Himalayan salt lamp and it's my meditation music and I do my shower meditate. Like that to me is like heaven. And then the other shit in the morning was like not fitting and like not working. And like it just wasn't in my own essence and my own center of gravity. So we had to talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Now I don't do shit. Get up, Celsius, bye.
But
That's
that
it.
is a morning routine.
Yeah.
It is. It's just your own. And I think that like we got to just naturally move into what feels the best. And that's the thing is everything that you have to force in your life is not organically you.
Yeah.
You're GMO.
Yeah. Oh my God, you are GMO.
Yeah.
Not organics.
No.
All right. Well, those are my thoughts. Do you have more?
No, that's it.
Okay.
But I do want to tell everyone about my sexy because what is the term you use? Like, I'm going to put you on some game.
Oh yeah. Put you on game.
Okay.
Yeah. Put us on.
I'm going to put you on some game. Yeah.
There we
Okay,
go. We're
you
learning.
My sexiest thing this week, this is ridiculous, and I'm so sorry, guys. This has nothing to do with you. Unless you wear mascara, then by all means. I have this new mascara that I am so deeply obsessed with.
Okay.
Everyone who's looking, you could look at my eyeballs like this.
Your lashes do look good. Like I was sitting here and I was like, damn, she has long lashes naturally.
Dude, okay. So for a really long time, I was using Dior Show, which
That's what I use.
it's $30.
Yeah, it's
it's
expensive.
so expensive.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's fine. I don't mind spending money on makeup. That's no big deal.
Yeah.
We went to some of our friends' event. We have some friends who own a clothing line called Boys Lie, and we went to their event. And they gave us goodie bags, and in my goodie bag was it's called Maybelline New York Sky High, and I was like, I probably would have just like. You would have probably like, oh yeah, someone else can take this because like I'm pretty set. Like I was like, I love Dior Show.
Yeah.
No.
I've never found a difference between high-end mascara and drugstore mascara.
Well, no, and I've heard there's actually no difference. For me, it was the brush. I'm like for me, I liked the way the brush, but the Maybelline New York Sky High, you guys,
bomb.
run, don't walk. Go on. Like
I need to try
I'm gonna add it to our Amazon so everyone can go look at it. But it is $9.95.
Yeah.
It is top tier. It's
Okay.
my favorite mascara of all time. I curl one lash and then I do one and then I curl the other and I do the other.
Yeah, bomb. No, they look really good. I'm looking at it.
It's top tier. It's my so my new mascara is my sexiest thing.
Okay, I love that.
Because I wanted to share people.
I'm gonna try it.
Okay.
Because I've never really found the difference between them.
No, the brush for me is just so good.
Yeah.
That I agree with you. I haven't.
Yeah.
But the Dior show is like, oh, I like this. I don't really want to go look for something else.
Yeah.
The brush is good, but the sky high.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
It's incredible.
Okay, mine is something that like I don't want to admit, but I'm gonna do it because it's like it's true and it's been like proven, and it's like I don't want to admit this, especially not to you. And I hate admitting when you're right.
Wow,
like,
she's really like you can tell that she like kind of wants to almost like throw up a little bit.
It's remember when I talked about repulsive? This is that. No, so okay, so we've had like a running joke for years, like 7-8 years at this point, I swear, that like you always know with a guy that I'm dating, interested in, everything, like no matter what, like you always know.
Yeah. I can call it within like
you can
10,
call it
10 seconds of meeting someone.
And you can call if I'm gonna like them. You can call if they're a good person for me. You can call if we're a good match. You can call if we're a bad match. You can call everything. And for like the past 7-8 years, I have like literally gone out of my way to prove you wrong. And like it was like raising a teenager when they're like, I'm gonna date them anyway. You know?
How's that worked out for you so far to
terribly
go against me?
Like every time you have said nope, they're not it, and like I've dated them anyway, I've gone it, like you have been right every single time. I don't want to tell you
the fact that
this.
you're even admitting this is incredible.
It's growth. It's literally it's a lot of growth and evolution. And I would go out of my way to be like, you're wrong, and I'm gonna do it anyway. Flip my hair. But so anyways, I learned my lesson after fucking 1,000 years. So now I'm like pretty, like I know, I'm like, okay, if Kels is vibing with them, or if Kels likes the energy, then I'm down the right path. And then if she doesn't, then I'm like, I shouldn't even go further. And because you can call it so fast. So it's like sometimes I'm like, what the, you know? So anyways, my sexiest thing is that it's whenever I'm like, if you get the
you're like a cat with 9 lives. You gotta go to the 9 lives of death with the person before you learn your lesson.
I'm stubborn as hell. Like I have to be like, no.
We are really having some self-awareness and some growth right here, ladies and gentlemen.
It's called evolution. Okay, yeah. So my sexy is if they get the Kels approval, because like honestly, like at this point, like after almost a decade of this shit, I'm like, you know what? I can't see it. I don't see your fucking red flags. They look pink to me. She sees them. Like
my vision is 20/20, and I don't wear glasses, ladies and gentlemen. So
she doesn't have astigmatism. I do. So I can't.
We're
see
still
the problem.
using that.
I still have astigmatism.
We're still doing that.
I still have it. I can't see.
We're still using that.
It's real.
Okay. if you say so.
So anyways, yeah. When I think that's my sex this week. It's like. You gotta get the Kels approval.
I am your sexy. Like my words of wisdom, who I am as an individual is your sexy. That's what I took from that.
Yeah, no, that wasn't it. It was more of like getting the Kels stamp of approval. And honestly, like you always say it too. You're like the guy that like the smart men, like they cater to you a little bit. You kind of have to.
But I can tell when it's genuine, and I can tell when
it's phony.
when you're just being phony baloney, and you are not. What did you say? You are not in the center of your gravity. I can always tell because I just know when I'm like, oh no, you actually are like down to like get to know me and be my friend, so that we're all cool and like we can all like have a good like.
And you can tell like even before you meet them. It's so crazy. It's so wild. Like you just always know. And even when people go through phases, you know, like oh, this person is a yes right now. Now they're a no. Now they're like even
because I'm like it could because this is the deal. People ebb and flow. They go through hard times in life. I'm not like writing everybody off, but there are some people where I'm like they got to work on themselves. This isn't it right now. Maybe later they come back around, but this isn't it. But I also know when it's just a no.
Yeah.
You have had a lot of just no's.
Yeah, and I've dated them anyway, and that was they like virtually lived with one of those. Like we don't need to ever do that again. We need to listen now.
I was telling Mans the other day. He said something. You ended up being right, and I go, well, I usually am right. And he goes, you're also so humble. And I said to him, I go, this is the deal. I don't speak out on
Yeah.
things that I'm not well versed on or that I don't feel confident in. So when I do speak out, I'm right. And he goes, that's obnoxious. And I go, you should go talk to Celeste and my brother because they feel the same way. I
Yeah.
don't speak out on things if I'm not right.
Yeah. No, I literally hate when you're right. And I tell you.
So does Cody.
Yeah. No, it's the worst thing ever.
My brother, he tells me all the time, he's like, I have been telling him for years to do certain things, and then finally he'll do it. And he'd be like, I'm like, would have saved you years of torment and torture if you would have just done it earlier on. He goes, you're so annoying.
Nope. Yeah, you are. But you are right. It's so annoying. Like, you are always right, especially when it comes to that. So now I'm like, I've learned, I've grown, I'm evolved. I'm a grown up, and I'm like, okay, honestly, I'm like, I don't even have to know because she'll tell me, and then that is how I'll know. So I'm like, that's the one. It's the Kels approval this week.
Wow. I mean, what a great episode.
The fact that I even admitted that is
we should mark this. We should download this one. We should star it. We should highlight it. The name of this episode should be Kelsey's Always Right.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Oh,
that one doesn't flow. That one
interesting.
doesn't roll off the tongue.
All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Please rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend. Go on to our TikTok, our YouTube. You guys, I'm really excited about the YouTube. I don't know why.
She loves the YouTube.
I love YouTube.
Yeah.
I think we have like 78 subscribers now, which I got to tell you, I'm stoked that 78 people felt that they should go subscribe to our channel. I like it. It makes me feel good.
Okay, you guys, you can find us on social media at Smart is Sexy. Thank y'all.